A bill that makes broad across-the-board cuts to most state government entities barely scraped through the Senate today. The Idaho Rescission Act would reduce the current budget for fiscal year 2026 by $192 million. That includes money from the general fund, federal dollars, and dedicated funds, all in hopes to balance the budget, which is what the governor asked for at the start of the legislative session. Most state agencies see a reduction of around 4%. With some exceptions. Budget for Medicaid, public schools, the Department of Correction, and state police are not reduced further under this specific bill. Now, supporters pointed to a projected $45 million balance next year, arguing that without these cuts, the state could be headed into the red.
If we do not take this step now, for these rescissions now, we will be coming back next year with even more difficult decisions next year.
It would be lovely if we had the time and we were a full-time legislature and we had full-time staff and we could sit and talk about budgets for months on end. But that's not the situation that we're in. And the situation that we're in is going to force us to take a dramatic cut first and then to go back and look at reasonable restorations. And I promise you that we're doing that every day in JFAC. I'm working hard to make sure that important services are restored and that the fat and the waste is left aside.
But opponents say the problem isn't whether to budget carefully, it's how this bill does it. They argue that cutting broadly without detailing program-level impacts masks where the real consequences land.
This rescission bill isn't the answer. And I want to be very, very clear that this rescission bill, this 50-page bill that you have before you, is not the recommendation of the man on the second floor.
I support the cuts that were recommended by the governor. I do not support the 1% that was added on after the fact because it's arbitrary. It's easy to just add 1% onto the top and call it good. However, it's tough to take a scalpel and dig deep and figure out which budgets really need to be cut, because I do believe that there are divisions, departments, offices in this building and in the state that are ran fairly well, that are pretty lean. And I do not think it's fair at all to cut their budgets when other budgets could be cut more.
Well, the bill passed the Senate by just one vote, 18 in favor, 17 against. It's now headed to the House, where the same question will hang in the air. Is this a careful trim or a broad cut that leaves Idaho to figure out the details later? It's also important to note that Senate Bill 1332 also passed today. Less contentious, though, 26 in favor, 9 against. That would make several cash transfers from certain dedicated funds to the general fund for fiscal year 2026. This would include taking away $10 million from the In-Demand Careers Fund, which includes Launch Program, $3 million from the Opportunity Scholarship Program, $15 million from the Water Pollution Control Fund, and $33 million from the Permanent Building Fund.